do you want to get us started? Open us
Sure.
up. Go ahead.
I mean, the goal today is to really just put face to the names, make sure that people understand, who we are, the ladies of Iwa. But bigger than that, I don't know if anyone really understands the story of really how it was created or the intent, the ideas behind it, like our goals to evolve, where we're headed to. Because, it's our vision, and I know it's something that we share. We're talking weekly, we're on Zoom calls, we're taking notes. It's something we're working on daily. But if we don't really bring it to the audience or to, the group or the tribe, it's pretty difficult for us to continue to grow. And I know there may
Mhm.
be individuals who have never heard of it, may be a bit confused. And I know oftentimes when people are confused, you don't really take action. So it's like, well, what is it? How do I move forward? How do I become a part of it? How is this going to help me? Is this beneficial for me? Is this the
Right.
business I want to be in? These are all of the questions that the group, that the Alliance is able to answer. So, it all started with just an idea of gathering. And I'm really big on gathering when it comes to people, when it comes to organizations, ideas. I come from a big family, a huge family of 8. I'm a middle child. So, hey, we got our three-way. Hello, beautiful. You're all
Hi
up to date, literally updated.
there. Hi, everybody.
Hello. You are
Hello.
one of 8, Lisa?
Yes, one of 8. I was just saying, Josiah, we were talking about where does this idea of us gathering come together? And I was just saying, I'm one of 8. So the whole unity, everyone coming together as one, we having resources, using different ideas and sharing different perspectives is just something that I'm used to. So when coming into the waist beating world, to me, it was something that I did not see. I was looking for it. I was looking for where is that kind of unit? Like I would love to be a part of it, and start for me. I came in really started with waist trainers. I have 2 children. I have an umbilical hernia. And with these hernias, either get surgery or wear something that straps down in that area as often as possible until you decide to do something, which would be, just quick umbilical hernia surgery, put a mesh in there and things of that sort. So I decided to go the latter and maybe use waist trainers. And that process, people would ask me about what am I using, and I would share. And then I cut out the middleman and begin to produce these products and help people with it and learn that waist beads was another way to manage your weight. So it really started off with, oh, this is a cool addition to waist training. And
My
then I met
story.
individuals like yourself and individuals like Josiah who said, oh no, this is bigger than just waist awareness and waste management. This is a whole idea. This is a whole culture. Obviously, we have young ladies like you who have turned it into a business. We're able to scale it. And I thought, okay, let me take a step back, because I started off with my daughters creating beads and it was fun. And then it became something that, no, there's some history behind this. There's some umph. And I have these mentors and individuals like you who are out there. Then it started off with me being able to connect with Tiffany. And it wasn't just with random questions. Like I would do research. I would make a lot of mistakes on something that I'm doing. Then I'll send her pictures like, so what do you think based on this, that I've tried, that I'm out there, I'm grinding with? And is this about right? Like, here's what I'm thinking. Here's what I've learned. Is that correct? Because I'm coming into this world and I want to make sure that I'm aligned and putting some respect on it, on these waist beads and what we're doing here. So I did a little birthday gathering where I gathered a bunch of ladies and we did waist beads via Zoom. Said, this is great, but I would love to see this with my sisters, like the waist artists out there, the people that I've looked up to, that I know that enjoy this entire process as well. But how can we bring this together? Weird idea came to calling Tiffany, because Tiffany was someone, like I mentioned, someone I can connect to in the waist beating world, someone that would really answer the detailed questions when it came to hard, like it's really the deep things that you weren't able to find on Google. And I said, Tiffany, I have this idea. And initially it was just a Christmas gathering, maybe a Christmas gathering sort of thing where we can bring together all of the beaters and just all unite and talk and just let people know that although we're in the same world, we can also collaborate. We can share resources. We can unite as one. And when I thought of it, really, I wanted to toss it at Tiffany because I knew that if she rejected the idea, I was on the wrong path. because here I am new in this industry. And if I come at her with this and she says no, then my idea is not quite right. You know, I'm not always right about what I'm doing. So when I toss it at people, their response will let me know if my heart is in the right place, because it feels right. But when I deliver, it's not always on point. So Tiffany responded and said, yes, this is a great idea. You know, obviously watching Tiffany, and you had already had your sister circles every Sunday. And it was amazing seeing that you already had the knowledge and the intent to gather women. So I thought Tiffany would be an awesome partner to help and assist in gathering women together. And we decided to move forward. And as we moved forward, it became a bit bigger than that, because the response from the ladies in the waist beating world was pretty epic. But then we thought, okay, so if what we're doing here is great and people can connect to it, how can we really bring we call it the core, the foundation of waist beating world together? Because if we have the women, we're missing one more key thing. It's almost like the cherry on top. And of course, that was our Queen Jazai.
So absolutely, Jazai, can you tell us how? I would like to ask Jazai specifically, because I think I've heard you say before. How did it happen, or how did it feel when you got that request from Lisa? What was going through your mind?
So you guys already know me pretty well. I don't know if some of the other waist beaters certainly probably don't know me yet. And Lisa's so sweet and so enthusiastic and so community gathering minded. I'm listening to her story, all this enthusiasm. I'm thinking, oh, Lord have mercy. I would have been wiped out because, as you all know, and anybody else who's in this space knows, the waist beating, if you're doing it the way I'm doing it, and everybody is not doing it the same way, and I honor that, I see that very clearly, and people perceive that. So everybody here is not doing what I'm doing and what we're aiming to do as a collective, which is fine. But because it takes so much energy to do this work, the idea that I would then have to gather with a bunch of waist beaters to talk about what I'm doing when I could just be doing what I'm doing was like, I'm good. And so at some point I had to actually tell waist beaters, just sort of out loud and blanket, I'm not going to be answering questions in the DM. If you send me a question about string, or if you send me a question about where to get, send me a question about how long the string is supposed to be, I'm going to delete the message. I don't want you to be successful. And not because I don't want you to know the things that are going to get you further along, but because, one, I feel like so much of this on the person feed and the person, sort of exchanging the energy to have done the work to get there. I don't know if I'm cutting out. I don't know if I'm cutting out. I think it's detrimental to your practice if you don't do the work, because then you're going to have a whole human being standing in front of you in need, and you're not going to know what to do with them. And so if we give you cheat codes and you don't do the work, it will fail anyway. So that was my general stance. And then one day I was minding my business, as I so often am. And Lisa sent me a message, and she asked me, just really, very thoughtful, but really kind of just like out there. She was like, can you come and speak to this group of waist beaters? And I was like, sure.
Wow.
Much to my amazement, that was my initial reaction. And I thought about that. Like I finished the conversation, and then I got into the shower, and I thought, now, God, why would you let me tell that girl that people? Because you know that I'm not going to tell these people what they want to hear, which is where you get the string from, how long should the string be, how do you display the way. I'm not about to do that with all of my Black lady hours. Right. And so what grew out of that question was the answer: you will tell them what they can't Google. because that part is really essential. My expectation is somebody who is a part of the leadership team of this organization, this group, this gathering, and as somebody who does this work, is that you will do the work. If you're a waist beater or a magic man, any kind, you're not coming to the space of EY. You're not paying that $40 ticket or $111 ticket to get shortcuts. You're not doing that. That's not what we're giving. If that is what you think happens here, let me assure you and let me help you save some money. No one's going to spoon feed you how to make $1 million. That can't even happen. That's not even real. Because success in this business and in all energy exchange businesses means that you've done the work and that you can make the transfer from you, not from the information I give you. And so I think that when I said yes to Lisa, and then I came and I did it and I spoke, and I didn't. I don't even think anybody asked me any questions. I literally talked for an hour about who I am and what I do and why I do it and what my hope is for anybody else who intends to do the work. I just did that for an hour. And I was like, I don't really know what that's gonna do.
And we were blown away.
Like, screw her or what. Yeah. And I didn't care, and not in a bad way, but I knew in my spirit that I had done what I was supposed to do. And then it occurred to me that there was something else here, because these two ladies, Tiffany and Lisa, are extraordinary team builders. They're extraordinary team, and they're extraordinary team builders. And so because I am super, super busy doing this work, and even if I wasn't super busy, that ain't even my skill set. So I thought, you know what? I like them. I like the way they move. And even though they are newer and maybe even approach waist speed making from a different angle, that there's something here to offer into the community, because I am, obviously, I'm a teacher and I'm a sister and I'm a friend. And I don't want to not contribute to this community because it's vital. And my aim is that every woman in the world would have a waist bead on. And I am too old to be the person who gives everybody a waist bead. Like, I'm not going to live that long. And I'm too tired of flights. And so I said to them, I do want to work with people, but I really only want to work with people who want to hold waist beading in a particular kind of way. I don't want to be working with people, and everybody can do what they want to do when they leave the space, but any space that we cultivate really has to foundationally be about holding our clients close to us, being able to do the work for ourselves, so that when we speak to them, when we see them, when we teach them, when we touch them, that transfers. And so that's really why I'm here. I continue to be in the space because the space continues to be one that's supportive of the work that I want to do in the world. In the beginning, the space was different the very first time. And I think that impresses me too, because Alio has grown really fast. And I'm into things that grow fast. I'm a new gardener. And if I got a plant that's like growing slow, it's taking a whole season to get it, but I'm like, throw that one away. Because I'm not because it's not viable, but because I don't have the patience. I don't have the capacity to do that. And so that this organization is growing so quickly and forming itself so quickly is very impressive to me. Now, Tiffany, when we first started doing this, the structure was a lot different. So the very first time I came in and just talked. And then the second time it was much more beautifully organized. Thank you, ladies. And we had we called it the breakout room the first time, and then the high frequency training. So why don't you tell the ladies in the room, the women who are watching, what it now looks like and why?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing your story. I love hearing it, even though I've heard it before. I love hearing it every time. So as Josiah stated, it was different from day one, from event one. This will be our third event. And it's been evolving and evolving quickly, and it's beautiful. So what we're doing and how we're moving forward and how we're structuring International Waistbeaders Alliance is so that we are making sure, as leaders of this community, that we are giving you value, and that we have the people in the room that will understand and appreciate the value that we bring. So it's structured in a way, it's called the networking room. And then we have high frequency training with Jasai, and it's phenomenal. Lisa and I don't get to go. It's a shame. And then there is breakout rooms with myself and Lisa. So we're giving you information that is really specific to being a creative. And like just I said, you cannot give what you don't have. If I haven't done the work, how can I possibly give you a piece of my experience so that you can build on that and create an experience for yourself, and so on and so forth with your client? So what we're doing here, we are exchanging energy amongst each other as we collaborate and plan these meetings, and then passing that energy along, transferring that energy along to all those that join the community and want to learn, grow, experience, and just expand from the inside out. Because we can all put beads on a string, but what goes into it energetically, it really does make a difference. And that's where we're bringing you the value. We're leveling up. So this time around, we are not so much interested in bring your own beads, because we really want you to dig in, sit tight, focus on what we're trying to share with you, and the information, knowledge, and wisdom we want you to gain. We want you to leave filled. We want you to leave ignited and on fire to go further, do more research, do more internal work for yourself. So this is just the frequency of even us planning is phenomenal. I mean, I leave so energized, I can't even sleep half the time afterwards, because I'm just thinking, what are we, oh my gosh. So I just want you to understand, on April 10th, 3 to 5:30 p.m. Eastern time, East Coast time, this is something you've never seen before. If you've attended the first two, we appreciate you, and we would love for you to return, but we want you to expect greater, because we bring greater. We hold this dear to our heart. We want you to evolve and grow. So we wanted to level up in order to do that. So there is the high frequency training on seeding creativity with Jasai. Then myself doing chakra, and Lisa with color work, color theory, color therapy. So it's so different. You will not need your beads at all. So I want you to,
I want you to be paying attention.
yeah, we really do want you to pay attention so that you can gain everything you've come to gain. And you see the pin comment, that is the website where you go to get your tickets. Two different options: high frequency or best practices. You can only choose one because they run concurrently. Okay. Choose only one option. All right. We want you to be aware of that. So what else could we say to the ladies that, and somebody had a question about how do we follow the other sisters? As far as I know, the arrow at the top where you see our names, if you click that, you'll be able to find our profile. That's the best way I can tell you.
Great.
All right.
I love the word evolve, because as both of you ladies mentioned, every single event has been different, but our focus and our energy as well has shifted for every event. Our attention to detail and what we're doing now is, now we see the full vision of it. Now we see the future of it, and the topics are changing. You know, everything we do is really detailed, and I think that's going to be really important that for everyone to see within every event. So while you can only choose one or two of the breakout rooms that we have, we recommend both. So that's what's so cool, is that as we're continuing to grow, there'll be different topics that you can take on, really digest, and then what we're adding, a little cherry on top, would be application, because there's a lot of focus that we'll give you, but then what we'll also do is help you to apply what you're learning, maybe a little bit of role play, so that the topics really stick to you and you take it out and feel very comfortable with what you're learning, to assist your clients, to assist your community in whatever field that you're in. Because it's not just waist beaters. These are mindful thinkers, entrepreneur-minded individuals. We're gathering like-minded people like us who are really open to or looking forward to evolving and growing as we are as a unit, as EY, the Alliance.
Absolutely.
I want to
Go
address
ahead,
something
Josiah.
for the people who have been in the space before. Um, why does it cost money? Why does
Good.
it cost money now? Lisa, why don't you tell us why the meeting that happened twice before and was free now costs money?
Sure, we're evolving. Initially, it started off with free. And that was an idea of mine. Started off with, I just want people to know what we're doing. And as we gather, this will give us an opportunity to see what's out there, to really test the environment. See if there's even an interest in the waist beating world and the waist beaters coming together. So first we start off free. We toss it out there free and we gather some feedback, which we were able to do. Many of you guys filled out the form, so thank you for that. And then it helped us to kind of redirect what we were doing here. And as we did that, we found, wow, we have a lot of value. And I'll speak for myself. I went back to school. I did my undergrad. I went even back to do my master's program. And we're talking close to $100,000 in just sitting in class and doing my best to understand and take in and master management and leadership. And this is something that still costs. So I understood just initially the value of spending and really putting your effort in. Story, I always take it from Story. Current energy is currency. And I always quote her because it's just a beautiful quote. And Story is Josiah's daughter. She's pouring in knowledge into this group for us. She's on our Zoom calls as well. Yep. And for that is so, okay, the next step would be, I don't want people to think this is some, oh, we did it free and now we're just charging. No. What we want to do is have people understand the value. We're going to create a higher frequency room and really give people the experience, because there's one thing to talk about it, but when we put action into it and you experience it yourself, there's really nothing else we can say. So we've done that. And now we're taking it to the next level. And now it's time, because we have put in so much energy ourselves, so much focus. We put in a bit of a break in between each event so that we can put in the energy. Now, all we ask for is the currency. Mm-hmm. And that would be for you to simply invest in yourself. To me, it's the same way that I invested in myself, knowledge. And from that, you gain relationships. One of the biggest things that I've gained from going back to college were the relationships built. Long-term relationships, even values that I benefit from today from going back to university. So it's really about connections, resources, the value that you get out of it. And to me, whenever you got something free, to me, it broke faster. It didn't, it didn't look as well. The color didn't last as long, whatever it may be. So we're bringing the value, and it's just a simple expectation that you guys invest in yourself as we're doing our part as well. Right. Because, Josiah has over a century, over a decade of education, over 15.
Please make me old as time. I love it.
No, I'm taking it
because you look good, baby.
Over 15 years. And that's of studying. You take 15 years and you put it into a class. Who wouldn't pay for it? And I'm just being 100. Then we have Tiff. We have the years, and Tiffany's also studying crystals, and you have all of these things that she's invested in herself. Mm-hmm. Right. So now that we're delivering that to you, it's just a very simple, I don't know, it just comes I don't know why people would ask why pay. And I just thought that we have shown why individual would pay. But ladies, what would be your answer to that?
And just to note that I really asked the question because I want people to know I am grateful that people have been open to the idea that obviously, yes, this should cost something. We are all three professional women who get up every morning and going to work. You ladies, are you doing waist beating full time now, Lisa?
Yes, full time.
And Tiffany?
Full time, a week at a time.
But that's the thing.
All I do.
Really dedicating our life / time / energy to this work. And in my teaching and the spiritual teaching and technology that I was brought up in, the circle has to be closed. You cannot give a thing and not get a thing. And if we are going to teach the women in the space, or the magic makers in the space, to hold themselves steady and to make the offering they're going to make to their client and expect to receive the reciprocation that they feel like is appropriate for them, we cannot teach them to do that if we do not do that. We can't teach a thing we cannot do. I would never say to a waist beater, spend all this time and energy doing these things that I'm going to teach you to do, that we're going to teach you to do, and then don't worry about how much money you get paid doing it. I
Right.
just would never do that. That would be inappropriate. Spiritually, that would not be in line. And so there's no way to say that to them, but then not demonstrate that to them. So that's my answer. That, for one, I'm looking around this room and I got to go to Atlanta on Thursday and I haven't done the inventory, but I have to stop because I made a commitment to this space to have this conversation. That's not free. Like, nothing can be free when you're talking about work. And so we are literally demonstrating the thing that we're trying to teach, which I think is super important.
Absolutely. I couldn't say it any better than either of you ladies. Ditto. So no reason to rehash that from me. Absolutely. We are getting close to the end of our time together, but I do want to ask you a couple of personal questions, ladies, if you don't mind answering for me.
Why not?
Go for it.
All right. So what is your favorite book? She's like, oh, you gonna make me pick one?
Literally, in my mind, I just dove downstairs to my library. I'm like, oh my God, how do you even do that?
Right.
One of my favorite books is Malidome Patrice Somme's Of Water and the Spirit. And I think every time somebody asks me that, that's my answer, because the central thing that I remember about that is the initiation that Malidome experienced sitting in front of a tree. And because of my very intimate nature in my personal life and in my work with nature, and with trees in particular. So if you're in my bedroom, there's a balcony door. Right outside of that balcony is an enormous tree that I've lived with for the better part of 15, 16 years. And there is a relationship between me and that tree. There's a relationship between me and nature that has been supportive in my natural and spiritual life forever, for my whole life, and certainly for the space that I've been aware of and practicing deliberately in my adult life. And so remembering how connecting powerfully to nature changed him and helped him and supported him and made him become really who he is a story worth reading. So I would definitely recommend Of Water and the Spirit.
Excellent. Thank you for that. Same question for you, Lisa.
Cool. It's so interesting because it's on a different angle, but it's still with connecting. For me, it's a book by Dale Carnegie, and it's How to Win Friends and Influence People. Nice. And for me, for the first time, reading the book is where I understood the importance of EQ over IQ and that emotional intelligence and the importance of connecting with people. So for me, I think that was it. How to win friends and influence people, because there's different angles, but in between a lot of those readings would be just the importance of putting people first, understanding people, having empathy, being sympathetic, just being able to listen, I think is the biggest thing. And having those soft skills so that you can relate to one another.
Beautiful.
That's beautiful.
That's huge for you. And what about you, Miss Tiffany?
I would definitely say one of my favorite books is The Last Lecture by Randy Pausch. And I think, again, it's like we're all about this connecting, and it brings me to a place that's like, let's not wait too long to be connected. Like, let's truly make those connections meaningful. Let's take them deeper. And I think ever since reading that book like 10 years ago, I'm impatient with shallow conversations, and I have to try to be nice about it because I'd be like, nope. So definitely The Last Lecture. It really brought things around. It's like, wow. I cried the whole book almost, I think. Yeah.
That book, read it on airplane then.
It was dope. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I love it. I think that is our time. I'm super excited to be going on this journey with the two of you ladies. Thank you so much for the time and energy that you put into this space that we are creating. I'm super grateful to all of the women who are sort of deeply enmeshed in this craft and taking it very seriously and investing in themselves and their practice so that we can all sort of reach out and help and hold people the way clearly the world is making it evident people need. Yeah. Is there anything else, ladies? The event is, somebody with the details, go.
April 10th. It's Saturday. 3 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember, Eastern Standard Time. So if you need to, Google your time zone in comparison to that. So head over to www.alio.net/alio-events. And you will find, if you scroll towards the bottom of the page, you will find the EY graphic. Click on it. Go ahead. Get your ticket. You don't want to miss this. I'm telling you, it's worth the energy that you are going to get. If you can't feel it right now, I don't know why you even here.
I love it. Thank you so much, ladies. I attract myself to ladies who are bigger, better, grander, who I inspire to be, which is why I've surrounded you all around me. So I thank you for your time and your energy. Thank you, ladies. I appreciate
Thank
you.
you so much.
We'll see
All
you
right,
all.
everybody. Take care of yourself. See you soon.
You got it.
Bye.